Once upon a time, in a quaint suburban neighborhood nestled under the warm embrace of the sun, there lived a man named Daniel. He had a loving wife, Sarah, whose radiant smile could light up the darkest of rooms, and two adorable children, Lily and James, whose laughter echoed through their cozy home. Yet, beneath the facade of a harmonious family life, Daniel harbored a dark secret. For years, Daniel had been unfaithful to Sarah. It began as a whisper of temptation and evolved into a raging storm of infidelity. His friends and family watched helplessly as he spiraled deeper into the abyss, becoming a stranger to those who had known him best. It all began with a chance meeting at a coffee shop. Daniel was waiting for his order when he noticed a captivating woman sitting alone at a corner table. Her name was Emily, and she was unlike anyone he had ever met. Her eyes sparkled with an alluring charm, and her laughter was infectious. They struck up a conversation, and in that moment, a connection was forged that would change Daniel's life forever. As weeks turned into months, Daniel and Emily's relationship grew stronger. He found himself sneaking away from his family to be with her, concocting elaborate lies to cover his tracks. His friends, noticing his erratic behavior, began to caution him. Tom, his best friend since childhood, pulled him aside one day. "Danny, you're treading on dangerous waters here," Tom warned, his face etched with concern. "What you're doing to Sarah is unforgivable." But he laughed it away, saying, "It's not that serious." He couldn't imagine a life without Emily's intoxicating presence, and he couldn't bear to hurt Sarah, who remained blissfully unaware of his betrayal. Soon, rumors began to circulate among their tight-knit circle of friends. Sarah's best friend, Jessica, heard whispers at a neighborhood gathering and decided to confront Daniel. "Sarah deserves better than this, Daniel," Jessica implored, tears brimming in her eyes. "She's been your rock, your everything. She's been your rock, your everything. Don't throw it all away for a fleeting affair." Yet, Daniel remained obstinate, caught between the love he once felt for Sarah and the intoxication of his affair with Emily. One fateful evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Daniel received an anonymous letter in his email. It contained a series of incriminating photographs, capturing his secret liaisons with Emily. Panic coursed through his veins as he realized that someone knew about his affair and was threatening to expose him. The letter read, "Your secrets have a way of catching up to you. Choose wisely, Daniel." Fear gnawed at him, and he decided it was time to confess to Sarah before the truth came crashing down on him. With trembling hands, he called her into their bedroom, his heart heavy with guilt. "Sarah," he began, his voice quivering, "there's something I need to tell you." Tears welled up in Daniel's eyes as he confessed his infidelity, every word like a dagger through Sarah's heart. He told her about Emily, about the lies and the deceit, about the betrayal that had poisoned their marriage. Sarah listened in stunned silence, her world crumbling around her. "Love isn't enough," she said, her voice cold and distant. "You've broken something that can never be repaired." With those words, Sarah walked out of the room, leaving Daniel alone with the weight of his actions. In the days that followed, their once happy home turned into a battlefield of anger and resentment. Sarah couldn't bear to look at Daniel, and the children, Lily and James, sensed the tension in the air. Desperate to salvage his family, Daniel ended his relationship with Emily and begged for forgiveness from anyone who would listen. But the damage was done, and forgiveness was not easily granted. His friends and family, who had tried to warn him, now distanced themselves from him, unable to comprehend the depths of his betrayal. One evening, as Daniel sat alone in his now empty house, a knock on the door startled him. It was Tom, the friend who had tried so hard to steer him away from this path of destruction. "I hope you've learned your lesson, Daniel," Tom said quietly. "You've lost so much because of your choices. But it's not too late to rebuild what you've destroyed." As the months passed, Daniel attended therapy to confront his own demons and work through his issues. He fought for the chance to rebuild the trust he had shattered, not just with Sarah but also with Lily and James, who had been hurt the most in this ordeal. Sarah, though still deeply wounded, saw the sincerity in Daniel's efforts. Slowly, cautiously, they began the arduous journey of healing their marriage. It was a long and painful process, filled with tears, anger, and moments of doubt, but they persevered. Through it all, Daniel learned the hard way that the consequences of his actions were not just the loss of his family's trust and love but also the loss of his own integrity and self-respect. He had to confront the darkness within himself, the selfishness and recklessness that had led him down this treacherous path. Lily and James, once innocent bystanders to their parents' turbulent marriage, had grown into remarkably resilient teenagers. As the family reunited, Daniel realized the extent of joy and happiness he had denied his family. He promised himself to be a better man to his wife and children. Daniel threw himself into his role as a father, attending parent-teacher conferences, cheering at James's soccer games, and helping Lily prepare for college. He also continued his therapy, confronting the demons that had led him astray and seeking to understand the root causes of his infidelity. As the stewards began to rebuild their lives, Emily, the woman who had once been the catalyst for Daniel's betrayal, resurfaced. She had moved on with her life, but a chance encounter with Daniel at a local cafe brought back a flood of memories and emotions. "Daniel," she said softly, her eyes searching his face, "I've been thinking a lot about us, about what we had. I miss you." Daniel's heart wavered as he looked into Emily's eyes. "Emily, what we had was built on lies and deceit. I can't go back to that life. I'm committed to rebuilding my family. I hope you find the happiness you're looking for, Daniel," she said before walking away, leaving Daniel alone with his thoughts. Meanwhile, Sarah had her own battles to fight. Trust was a fragile thing, and though she had made the choice to forgive Daniel, the wounds of betrayal still haunted her. One day, she confided in Jessica, her best friend, who had been by her side through the darkest days of her marriage. "I want to trust him, Jessica," Sarah whispered, her voice trembling. "But every time he's late or his phone rings, I can't help but wonder." Jessica reassured her all would be fine. "Rebuilding trust takes time, Sarah. It's okay to have doubts, but remember how far you both have come." Daniel and Sarah began couples therapy, a place where they could confront their demons together, rebuild their communication, and learn to trust again. As the weeks turned into months, the wounds of the past began to heal, albeit slowly. Sarah and Daniel's love grew stronger with the weight of their shared history. Sarah became a successful young lawyer using her past experiences to make the society a better place by becoming a voice for the voiceless. James, too, found his passion in music, using it as a means of expression and healing. Daniel continued his journey of self-discovery, seeking to be the best version of himself for his family. He never forgot the pain he had caused, and he remained committed to making amends, one day at a time. Sarah, with time, found it in her heart to trust again, though the scars of the past would always be a part of her. Their love had been tested and had emerged weathered but unbroken, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. In the end, the story of the Stewart family was not just one of betrayal and pain, but also one of redemption and forgiveness. It served as a reminder that even in the darkest of times, when trust is shattered and hearts are broken, there is always hope for healing and renewal, and the possibility of a brighter future.